Every year, thousands of missionaries serving all over the world return home from honorable missions. They've experienced difficulties, shared testimony, and witnessed miracles. And who will hear those amazing stories? A few hundred people over the course of their life? These are stories that uplift. These are stories that encourage. These are stories that inspire. On Return with Honor, we aim to share these stories with the world. Welcome to Return with Honor. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Return with Honor, the show where we interview recently returned missionaries. I'm Chuck James.
I'm Christine James. Tonight we are interviewing Brittany Fransen.
Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you.
We're really excited to have you here, and thanks for agreeing. And I know it's a busy time, but thanks for being on.
I like talking about myself, so I was like, all right, I'll do it.
Well, let's start with the easy questions. When and where will you serve?
I'm serving in the Washington Vancouver mission. It's like right along the Columbia River, so it's actually part of Washington and Oregon. And I leave next Wednesday, August 3rd. I report to the MTC at 1 p.m. So, yeah.
And your mission there is a little bit unique. So what's unique about the call that you...
I'm serving in American Sign Language. So that basically means what's unique, I think, about ASL missionaries is we're probably going to be doing a lot of interpreting for people at meetings and stuff. And so that's really cool. And some ASL missionaries, they just kind of get called as a general missionary, and then they get sent like all over the country. But that's not me, which is good because it's easy to know, like, okay, I'm going to one place, so it's a lot less stressful. So yeah, but some missionaries get to do that.
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty neat.
That's interesting, and maybe this is on your list of questions already. I didn't actually read the questions, but what type of preparation are you needing to do in order to be prepared for that?
Well, I had already taken, before I even decided to serve, I took a sign language class. It's just Deaf Studies 1, so it's really basic. When I was a senior, the fall semester, and so that was kind of just the beginning. And then I decided I wanted to go on mission after that, and so I just took Deaf Studies 2 and 3. So I've taken 3 classes now at the college, but I don't know very many church signs. It's a whole different language, and we have very specific signs to our religion, just like pretty much every religion. And so that's the part that I wish I'd prepared more. But they told me I would get a book when I get there that you don't have access to anymore. So I think I'm okay with how much I've prepared so far. And definitely talking to deaf people when I meet them has helped. Because I know a lot of people who take the class are scared too. But I kept, like, they come to where I work sometimes and I'd be like, I'm going to mess something up and I'm going to sign something weird to them. But I just had to do it because I need practice. And so that really helped a lot.
That goes perfect with your personality. You don't seem to be afraid to do that sort of thing. So
I was afraid I would speak wrong, but other than that.
Okay.
So you said when you were a senior in high school, you started taking these classes. What prompted you to do that?
I didn't know where I wanted to go with my life. I thought I wanted to do something with like writing because I liked writing. But then I had like a little thought. It was the Spirit prompting me, but I was like, maybe I should learn sign language. And so I was like, how can I take a college class on top of my senior classes, And I had, I did student government. So I had to do that. I was a leader with that. I was in charge of a lot of activities we did at school. And so I had after school stuff I had to do. And so then I was just researching and I found out I could take a class twice a week after school. And that seemed doable. And so I did miss a lot of sports events that were on Tuesdays and Thursdays because that's the day my class was. But it was totally worth it. And so the very first day of class, I was just like, okay, yeah, I'm going to learn sign language. And like, it'll be cool, like a cool talent I have. But my teacher, Miss Winecoop, she told us about interpreting and about the lives of deaf people, and I just like, it hit me, from the spirit. I was like, I gotta do this with my life. I have to be an interpreter. So yeah, that's pretty much my foray into ASL.
I think it's pretty interesting, and now you're going to get to use that to serve the Lord as well, and to serve brothers and sisters.
I had a lot of people tell me that because I wanted to do sign language so bad, I probably wouldn't get to. But the Lord works in mysterious ways. Just for me, for everybody, but I think He was preparing me by having me take sign language. So just the thought that I was led to where I needed to be is amazing.
Well, just what I know about you and the little I know about sign language is that it takes a lot of animation, and
yes.
and you fit that bill perfectly. And so I think that's great. And I remember I was there whenever you opened your call and read where you were going, and it was a pretty special moment for us to watch you. So I know that it was for you as well. So can you talk about that a little bit?
When I opened my call.
Yeah.
So yeah, I opened my call, and I read, actually I have it right here, so I'm gonna read it.
Okay.
I think it's in here. Yeah.
Do you have a whole pile of your stuff in it?
It's I covered it because I didn't want to read it all at once because I read fast. So I covered it, and I read that I was hereby called to serve as a missionary of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I read Washington Vancouver mission. And I was like, is that in Canada? And so then I was like, okay, whatever. And then I kept reading, and I read the Provo Missionary Training Center on Wednesday, August 3rd, 2016. And at this point, I was pretty just really relaxed, and I felt the spirit, but I wasn't overwhelmed. And then the next line is, you will prepare to teach the gospel in American Sign Language. And as soon as I read it, I lost it. I was just crying because I was so overwhelmed by how amazing it was that I got to teach people in the language that I've fallen in love with, and the language that my future would be based around. And so it was just amazing. And I hope to meet other people who've had that experience of learning a language and then getting to use it on their mission, because it's awesome. So yeah,
it's great.
So some people might think that you took the classes so that you could go on a mission. That was always in the plans, but it doesn't sound like that was necessarily in the works. So when did you decide to serve a mission?
It was probably about, I would say, February 2015. It was about 3 months before I graduated high school, and it wasn't really one moment. It was a process. I would think, it kind of started I could serve a mission in sign language, and that would be cool. And then it became I could go to ABC, and it's really easy to take time off of community college because they let you back really easily. And so it would work to just take a year and a half off. And then it just, all these little thoughts in my head, until finally it came to a pinpoint of, I should go on a mission. And I tell people all the time that I feel like unless you've had that moment where you get revelation from the Lord, this is what you need to do with your life, then it's really difficult to get through your mission. And I've been reading blogs and stuff from missionaries who say they had that moment. Maybe some of them didn't have it until they were on their mission, and before that moment it was so hard for them. And so I'm lucky I got to have that moment of just this is what I need to do. And I can't say specifically what day it was or where I was, just because I said, it was just this process. But I know that it was around that time, February, I think. It was winter time. It was cold outside, I remember. So yeah, and then I told my mom, and I told a couple of my friends, and they were like, okay, yeah, you should serve a mission. And a couple people were like, well, it's about time you make that decision, because they knew I would be an amazing missionary, and that meant a lot to me. So, and yeah, and kind of going with this, just also for like people watching, my mom told me that she'd never wanted to push me, like to say like you should go on a mission, because she knew that would probably turn me off to the idea, just because that's how teenagers are. They're like, if my mom tells me to do something, I don't want to do it. So she never pushed me, which really helped. It helped me make my own decision for what I wanted to do and for wanting to serve. So yeah.
That's great. Just a reminder for our live audience, that if they do want to ask some questions, they can either put that in the chat with a /Q, or they can call in and ask live. So if you do have some questions, feel free to do that. What's your biggest security about serving a mission?
Insecurity.
My biggest insecurity?
Insecurity.
Oh my goodness. Oh my. I think it's there's so much. I think honestly I'm scared that something's gonna happen and I'm gonna come home, because it's happened to so many people I know. They get hurt and they come home and I'm like, oh man, that's good. And I just know, like, I told my mom, I don't play sports, and that's how a lot of people keep getting hurt playing sports. So hopefully that's out of the mix, and I won't have a sudden urge to play basketball and break my leg or something. So yeah, but that really is my biggest insecurity, that I'm gonna come home, and I really hope I don't. But yeah. Oh, Sister Dylan is asking if there's still a deaf branch in the AV. There is. It's the Juniper Hills ward. So yeah, Sister Reese, which is Sister Noriega's mom, she interprets there, and then it's in Lancaster Stake. Oh yeah, they offered. Yeah, they told me I could come interpret, but I have like 4 callings. So, well, not anymore. I'm released. But yeah, I never got the chance to. But hopefully when I get back. So yeah, it's Juniper Hills.
I did not know that.
That's a great question, because I didn't realize that either. So thank you for asking that question.
I'm curious. You could probably do they need interpreters in the temple? I mean, I know they have videos.
Oh yeah. So I actually got the chance to go to the sign language session on the 9th, and it was so amazing, because it reminds you that the gospel is the same in every language, and it's just beautiful. But yeah, there's people that they just learn, they only learn sign language for the endowment session, and then like outside of the endowment session, they just like don't know any. So they definitely need interpreters in the temple. So.
Interesting.
Well, that could be even something that you do even after your mission.
Yes. Oh, that would be awesome. I love the temple.
Good.
So other than the language, what else have you done to prepare for your mission?
Well, spiritually, I've been reading the scriptures. I'm not as good as I should be, like everybody else, but I have been reading more. And President Cordes told me when he interviewed me, he said, just read it. Don't like study it crazily, just get through it. And that's helped me a lot, because sometimes I'll read a verse and it'll be like, wait, I didn't really get that. And then I remember what he said and I keep going. And then as I keep reading, it kind of just comes together in my mind. So that's definitely helped. And then I have, I've been watching the videos. The district videos are so helpful, because I'm like, well, what's it like being a missionary? And then it's literally the day-to-day lives of missionaries. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that's helped with a lot of the stress of like, what's my life going to be like? So yeah. And
those district movie videos, that they come in the email from the church, right? Is that right? Or
it was on my account. So after you get your call and stuff, well, I don't remember if I could do it before my call, but definitely afterwards I could log into Mission. What?
I think it was after for Charles.
Yeah, I think it was after for me. I just remember if I logged in or not. But you can log into missionary.lds.org, and they have an online checklist of training and stuff that you need to do. And so that helped me a lot, because I was like, there's so much, I'm not gonna be able to remember it all. But that it's all there, like nothing's missing. And so yeah, you go on there and it has a list of the videos you need to watch and the like immunizations you need to get. I have one more I have to get. I'm getting it tomorrow. So yeah. That's it. That's another way I prepared is immunizations because I don't want to get sick and get sent home.
Right.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the call. So how much time passed between when you submitted the paperwork and you got your call, and what was that time like?
It was like a month, like almost exactly a month. So I submitted my papers like officially on Valentine's Day. And I remember because my sister Callie, she got baptized that day. And then that's the day when, that's the day when I could submit my papers. So I had them all done and I submitted them that day. And then I met with President Cortez, like, I think it was February 29th or March 1st. And then I got my call on Monday. It was like, sorry, hold on a second. I want to see. Okay, it was March 11th. I got my call in the mail. Oh, wait, maybe it was March 18th. I don't remember. I'm sorry. It was in March, but it was about a month. But my call was made on March 8th. It says that on my letter. So it was a little less than a month, which is wild because some people have to wait like 3 months.
Yeah.
So yeah, and there were like Charles, he was totally convinced. He's like, it's not gonna come for like a couple months to like April, and I was like, no, you're wrong. It's gonna come before that, and I was right. And so yeah, but my friend Amanda, she's in Utah on her mission, and she left in December, and she submitted her papers in like September, I think. So hers took like a month too. So it just depends on the Lord, I guess. So yeah, I'm very fortunate that mine came so soon.
Yeah. So you got the call in March, but you had to wait a while. How has that been? That wait?
You know, it's really funny because I was like, oh, that's like 4 months away. That's a long time, and now I'm like leaving next week. So obviously it takes a while, but it was so fortunate for me because it's really hard to find modest clothing. And I was fortunate enough to find this amazing website, which I'm totally going to promote right now. It's called eShakti, and it's ESHAKTI, and it's this little place in India. And they customize clothing for you for a really, really good price. And you add sleeves to dresses, and you can make them longer and make the necklines higher. And it was just like a blessing because I'm tall and I'm thin, and so finding modest clothes is so hard, like mostly finding skirts and dresses. And so to find that website was awesome. But because, they're in India, it takes time for clothes to get to you. And so I was really fortunate to have time to order clothes and have them come to me, make sure they fit and everything. So that was very helpful. So I recommend that to any women that wants to dress modestly, no matter like who you are, where you're going, if you're staying here, going on a mission. It's like amazing. Their clothes are so cute.
That's great.
Is that where you got I remember you posting a picture of you wearing a dress that super cute, and so that's where you got that.
The plaid one, I had to send that one back but they're really nice about it. They refunded me and everything, and they send you a free return label. So, and they actually have a little store in Washington, which is where your clothes go to. So yeah.
All right, so what's it again?
eShakti. It's like, can I like type somewhere? I don't know. Whatever. I'll put it on the Facebook page. I love it. It's awesome.
Put it in the chat box.
Can I just like click here? Yeah. Oh, send a message.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm doing this.
If you do the /Q, if you see the little slash sign there, if you click on that, then we can actually put it on the screen and people will see exactly what it is. So
/?
Yep. We can put the link in.
I hope that worked. I don't know. I sent it.
Yep, got it.
Woo! Oh. So yeah. And when you sign up, they give you like a coupon to do that. And when the first time you sign up, customizing your clothes is totally free. It's
really
awesome. Yeah, I love it.
So speaking of, so much has changed since women started being missionaries? What are the current standards for sister missionary clothing?
Current standards are kind of the opposite of what they used to be. They used to tell you had to wear like really neutral, muted colors, and now they tell you to wear brighter colors, like more friendly. And you had to wear like nylons or pantyhose, but now you don't have to, which is great because I hate wearing those. And I think dresses used to be, I don't know how the length was before, but it was longer, but it was like mid-cap. It had to be mid-cap, and now it just has to completely cover the front and back. So yeah.
Front.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was, I want to say 2 years ago when I remember reading an article in the church news that changed in the church's standards for sister missionaries.
Oh.
So
it was and now they just changed that some sister missionaries can wear pants. I was hoping my mission wasn't one of those because I already got almost all my clothes when that came out, and I was like, if I can wear pants now, I'm gonna be mad because then I have to get like more. Well, I don't have to, but But luckily, it's like nowhere in the U.S. So.
It's not in your.
No, it's mostly like South America and like I think Africa. Yeah, and we can't wear maxi skirts. Apparently, I don't know if this is true, but I read that sister missionaries can't wear maxi skirts because they're associated with some cults. I don't know if that's true, but I read it on someone's missionary blog. So yeah, we can't wear maxi skirts. They're not very convenient anyway.
So it looks like we have a question. It says, Brother Dylan wants to know if you've seen the movie The Miracle Worker.
No, I think I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. Sorry. I've seen 17 Miracles. That's a good movie.
Well, if I remember correctly, that's the one about Helen Keller and her teacher who taught her.
Oh, yeah. Did you know actually the thing with signing letters in people's hands, that's actually not how deafblind people communicate. They hold your hands while you sign and they feel you signing. So yeah, my teacher told me that. My teacher, well, not Miss Winecoop. This is Mr. Sladek. I had him for my last 2 classes because he's so amazing. He taught me so much about deaf culture. But he was like a top-notch interpreter. Like he interprets for deafblind people. That's how good he was. And he told us that the thing with finger spelling in the hand, that's how they feel, words that you're finger spelling, like names and stuff. But normal, just sign language, they just have to hold on to your like wrists or your hands, and then they know what you're saying, which is pretty cool. So yeah. And then he said most people are deaf first and then blind, so they can sign to people even though they can't see you, and so that's how they talk to people. And I thought it was really cool.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
So after you got your call, what was the biggest challenge for you?
Waiting. I was really concerned, like the same concern I have about leaving. It's like that something would happen, like I'd get hurt, or like I could, people make mistakes. And so I was like, what if something happens and then like I don't go? But I was really fortunate, nothing happened. And also the anticipation, like I'm not a patient person, so I'm like, let's go, it's gonna be August already. And that's good.
So once you get your call, there's kind of a whole list of things that you need to do to get prepared. They send you a list. Yeah. So were there any of those things that surprised you? Tell us a little bit about that process.
Well, I had to learn how to ride a bike, and I'm not successful with that still. I really hope I just get there and then it's like a miracle happens, because I tried to ride a bike. It did not happen. But surprising things also, like preparing. I think spiritually the surprising things were that it was pretty much what they always tell you to do, which is to pray and to read your scriptures and then to watch the videos they give you and stuff. But it wasn't anything like wild, like hard, and it's hard for some people. But it wasn't like I don't know. I think I expected more. I think I thought that there'd be like this pages and pages of talks to read and specific scriptures I had to read, but it really wasn't. And so I think that's helped with keeping me calm. Like, it's not wild. They're not asking crazy things of you.
Yeah.
And physically preparing, the bike thing. I don't have anything else to say about that.
Well, maybe you'll just get lucky and it'll all be cars.
Man, I hope so, because it rains a lot there. I'm looking forward to the rain. So yeah.
A little different from what you're used to, huh?
Oh yeah, it's like the opposite of the desert. They sent me pictures and stuff.
Oh.
What?
Maybe they'll have tutorials for you.
Oh, I wouldn't mind. It wouldn't bother me. I'd be like, yeah. They like training wheels for big bikes.
So do you have any advice or suggestions for those who are preparing to go on a mission to make the process of actually, the whole process of getting your paperwork submitted and then getting to the MTC? Do you have any advice for those who are preparing to do that?
I think I would say to just remember that you're doing the Lord's will and don't worry about what you want. Because I did want to serve in sign language and I really like the area I'm serving. But there's been like some things that I'm like, oh, that really sucks. I don't want to do that, like the music thing, because I really love music, but you can only listen to church music, which I love as well. But I'm like, that was hard for me. But then I had to realize, I was like, no, I have to be focused on the Lord. So of course I can't be listening to like Taylor Swift and stuff while I'm on my mission. Duh. And once you realize that, like, everything you're doing is for the Lord, it's not for you anymore, and it's for the people He's leading you to, then it just gets so much easier.
That's great advice and a great attitude, and I think that'll serve you well for your whole mission.
Yeah. Another thing I think is important is to accept that you're going to miss things. Like, it's really hard for me because my sister's having my niece in October, and it's like making me really sad. I have to miss it, but you just have to remember that the people you'll be helping, it's going to be worth it, So yeah, just accept that you're going to miss things happening. That's life.
Yeah. No, that is probably one of the difficult challenges of being on a mission, because you, and I think in some ways it gets a little worse when you're on your mission, because your love for your family grows even more when you're away from them. It's like you suddenly realize how much you miss them.
Yeah,
when those things.
I'm already missing, my little sister. She told me, she's like, I'm gonna cry when you leave, and I was like, please don't, because then I will too. And so, I mean, talking to other missionaries that have gone through that, they're like, yeah, it's awful, and I'm like, I can't wait. But I think she understands. I hope she understands that I'm going to be helping people. But yeah.
And the time will go by quicker than you think.
That's what I'm thinking. I keep thinking like 4 years of high school went by so fast. I'm like, whoa, it's been 5 years. Like, I've been out of high school for years. So a year and a half will go by quick. And so, yeah.
I tell missionaries that when they're leaving on their mission, I tell them that it's almost like you hit a time warp or some kind of weird time thing when you go on your mission. Every day seems like a year, but every year seems like a day. So it's a really unique experience.
That's really interesting. I'll remember that. Aww.
Yep.
My family and friends.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Charles was telling us that because he's been gone for about 4 months, and he emailed and said that even though he's been out almost 4 months, that he feels like 2 years just isn't enough time, and so he's already wishing for more time. Anyway,
they let some sisters stay for the extra 6 months, but I don't think I'm gonna, for educational purposes. I want to continue with going to school and stuff, and so I want to be able to go to school that semester. I hope, it would be cool, but I feel like it's a year and a half is okay. So yeah, and I don't know if they let us do that here. I don't know. That might be like an abroad thing.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that one. So how have your parents, callings you've been in, maybe jobs you've had, those kind of things, how have those kinds of things prepared you for your mission?
Well, callings have helped me because I'm in primary right now, and when you're in primary, you go back to the basics. And so I've had the opportunity to go back to the basics and remember that the people I'll be teaching have the same knowledge level as these little primary children. And so sometimes I'll be teaching something and I'll be like, well, why don't you know this? This is easy. Everyone knows this. And I remember I've had years of gospel experience, and these little primary kids have had like a couple. And that's going to be the same thing with going on a mission. Teaching people. Some people have no experience. And so that's important to remember. My job has taught me patience with people, which I will need, I'm sure, because I didn't have any until I started working at Kirkland's, because some very interesting people come in there and I have to be really nice to them. So yeah, I hope I'll be nice to people. Sometimes I'm not a nice person. Yeah.
Well, I've never seen that. You've always been nice to.
Oh yeah. Okay. I've been nice to you. Don't start asking around.
Okay.
So how about family? How do you think family's helped you prepare for your mission? Parents, siblings?
It's weird, but they've helped me with the being away from them thing, because I've been able to like do overnight stuff away from my parents for like a while. And I know like a week is nothing compared to a year and a half, but I can say very confidently that I'm not as emotionally attached to my parents as some people are who have a really hard time leaving their parents because they're so just attached to them, and not just emotionally, but I think like they're dependent on their parents. And I do like ask my mom about like everything, but I think I've been able to have that relationship where they understand when I need them and I understand when I need them. But other than that, it hasn't been like so overly, like I haven't been overly needing my parents, which is really good. So yeah, I think what I'm going for here is that I have good independence. So I think I'll be okay.
Yeah.
There's a question here that's kind of along those lines. Since missionaries are leaving at a younger age, many have not spent much time away from home. Have you spent much time away from home?
Like I said, I think the longest I've been away from my parents has been like a week, maybe 2 weeks. But because of the wild life my mom lives, as in she has like a lot on her plate, I'm really good at taking care of a household without her for like a day. After that, I'm like, I can't do this. But I really haven't spent like a really long time away from home. So yeah, I know what you mean though, because I know that like sisters would go to college for like, some would like complete college for 4 years and then they just go on their mission. And so, but now it's not like that. I only had a year of college and it was just community college. So I lived at home. But I think I'm okay with that. I'm probably going to leave and be like, I need my mom. But yeah, right now I'm like pretending I won't.
I'm sure you'll have those days for sure.
I think everyone does. I feel
missionary
like
work.
No matter where you go, whether you go to college or you just like move away from your parents and go on a mission, you have those days where you're like, I need my mom or I need my dad. So yeah, you just gotta get through it.
Well, it will force you to quickly gain a quicker relationship, strong relationship with the Savior, and you'll just have to rely on that, and you'll have to be my mom. Yeah, that's right. And he will. Yeah. Plus, they have, the mission moms, and I believe they have it organized now, right? Where sister missionaries report to other sister missionaries, and you can connect with them.
I think I haven't heard that recently, but I'm sure that's a thing. And
Yeah,
I know also
they
a lot
do.
of sister missionaries stay with single sisters, so that's also helpful because then you have like a surrogate mom. You know,
Uh-huh.
does this look okay? Does this match? Because elders don't care. They're just like, yeah, this tie is like I wore it 2 days ago. But sisters have like we have girl things. We have to make sure our skirt and our top match. Like it's important.
I know that just hearing from my sister's ward, they have, elder couples who kind of watch over the sisters and the elders too. So you'll probably maybe have some connections there to help you.
Yeah, I know on my mission, I always enjoyed when I had when I was in a zone where there were a senior couple was serving. They were always were kind of like, grandma and grandpa. They took care of you, and it was always very comfortable.
They make you eat.
Yeah. Well, is there anything we haven't asked you that you wanted to talk about?
I don't know. I think just a little bit like how the deaf community is way different than the hearing community. One thing, like I despise certain foods, like any other human being, but they'll tease me and they'll be like, "What if somebody gives you salad on your mission?" And I tell them, and they don't believe me, but it's true. I'm like, I just tell them I don't like it because in the deaf community, they don't play like that. They're really just honest and out there, and they don't care, and they're not offended by anything. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Looking forward to being like, yeah, I don't really like eating this, and then the deaf person just being like, okay, because that's how they are. But also, I'm probably gonna, because the Lord wants to bless me. I'm gonna get saddled with some hearing families that really like eating me salad. So, it could go either way. But yeah, it's just really different experience. I know I'm gonna have.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
That's good.
Do you have another question?
Well, I was just remembering what we were talking about before we started recording was that you just recently packed up some of your stuff. And I know that that's a process too.
Yeah.
And you're having a difficult time saying goodbye to some of this stuff. So walk us through that a little bit.
So I had to pack up my book, all my babies. And it was really hard because it sounds so dumb, but I had to shove as many as I could in the box and make sure they were all like lined up. But when it came to, like my book series, like Harry Potter and stuff, I couldn't separate them because I was like, yeah, it has to be with their family. And my sister, my older sister, has one of my books for one of my series, and I felt like I couldn't pack those ones up until I had the first one. But I did it anyway because I had to. So that's been hard. But it's also been hard, like, packing up just my clothes and stuff that I'm not taking with me because I told my sister, my younger sister, I told Jennifer she could have some of my clothes, but then I packed some of them anyways. I'm like, I hope she doesn't want those because I'm putting them in a box. So it's just been hard because I'm like, oh, this isn't really my room anymore. Everything's gone except my desk because I'm taking most of this stuff with me. So yeah, that's been hard.
Yeah, pretty much your whole for the next 18 months, everything you possess, I guess.
I will be careful on the boxes, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Well, Brittany, we really appreciate you being on the show tonight. When I found out that you were going in ASL, I thought, well, God knew that she couldn't just be confined to teaching with her voice. She has to use her hands too. So we know that you'll be a great blessing to all those that you come in contact with. We look forward to hearing the stories that you'll get to experience.
Wild.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know much of a testimony at all? I mean, I know you mentioned that you don't know a lot of signs that the church uses in our culture. Do you know any at all, or do you know, maybe would you be willing to share a hymn because you recently?
I can sign I love to see the temple, but I can sign I know God lives, but I don't know if you use that sign for God lives. See, it's really hard to know what you're supposed to say because this is alive and like an address and a bunch of other things. But when you say I know God lives in English, I don't know if that's the same thing in sign language, because you sign the concept of what you're saying. You don't sign in calculator. But yeah.
Right.
I can.
Well, that's interesting. Would you do that for us?
What? Which one?
The temple one.
Oh, I love to see the temple. The whole song?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want Chuck to?
No. Okay, so it's I love to see the temple. I'll go inside someday to feel the Holy Spirit. My hands are like not this way. To listen and to pray. For the temple is a house of God, a place of love and beauty. I'll prepare myself while I am young. This is my sacred duty. Yeah. And then the second verse is I don't remember. Sorry. The second verse we just threw together really fast, and I'm really proud of them for pulling it off. But yeah. The end was really
it was beautiful.
Thank you.
That was great.
I was so proud of them because they kept those dang primary kids. They were like, "This is boring. Why do we have to learn this?" And I was like, "It's for me. I'm leaving." And they pulled it together like they always do. So I was really happy about that. But I was just like, they're gonna get up there and be like, "I don't want to do that." Some kids do that. They didn't. I was so proud of them. I was like, "Yay!"
They did a great job.
They did. That's good.
Well, again, thank you very much for being on the show. We really appreciate you doing that, and we look forward to having you back on the show to tell us about how your mission went.
My wild time in the world.
Grandma says, "God be with you."
Oh, yeah. That's Sister Scott. She's
Is it okay?
She's in Idaho. I don't remember. She's not here in California, but she's been like watching out for me. So thank you, Sister Scott. Idaho. I was right. I was like, oh, what if that's not the state? So yeah.
Well, good luck. We know that you won't need luck because God will be with you, and so will all of our prayers. And we know that you're going to do a fantastic job.
Thank you.
All right. Well, tune into our next episode when we'll be interviewing another fantastic missionary. And to check out past episodes of the show, visit our website, returnwithhonorshow.com, or subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you or someone you know would be a great guest for our show, let us know by sending us an email at rwhshow@gmail.com. And we'll see you next time on Return with Honor. Have a great night.
Bye.